We do believe she is the person who drove his vehicle to that neighborhood and left it in that neighborhood and then walked away from the vehicle.
She parked the car and just left it. I figured it was a stolen vehicle. She never even looked back. She just got out and left.
Okay, new information coming out about the principal, and our bold question: was the principal involved in her husband's murder? Vinny Politan's over at the HLNTV.com evidence room.
Thanks so much, Ryan. Let's take a look at a map so you know where everything is in this case. That is important. Over here is where the body was found, and then you go 20 miles away. That is the home where Todd and Janaea Chance lived. And then 5 miles away from that is where Todd's Mustang was found abandoned. I want to bring in Chris Ornelas from KERO in Bakersfield. Chris, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Give us an idea of where, let's begin first where the car was found. Give us an idea what that area looks like.
That's kind of a working class neighborhood. It's close to the interstate, a lot of small houses close together, maybe a middle to lower income neighborhood.
Okay, and it's just 5 miles from the house, correct?
That is correct. It's about 5 miles away. The neighborhood where the family actually lives is a much more upscale, large homes, and a very nice and quiet cul-de-sac where their home is located.
Okay, now what are witnesses saying about what they saw relative to the Mustang that was found abandoned that belonged to Todd?
Well, the sheriff's office is being very tight-lipped about exactly what their witnesses saw, but there is some indication that at least one person saw a woman leaving that Mustang in the neighborhood and then walking away. It was somewhat unusual because it is a very nice Mustang, and many of the cars in that neighborhood aren't like that, and so it didn't quite fit in. There's also been some talk, of course this is an unconfirmed report, but some talk that maybe there may even be surveillance video of the car being left in the neighborhood.
All right, that would be powerful evidence if, in fact, that exists. How about a timeline here? Is there any timeline that we can set that puts Todd and Janaea together that day?
Not that it's been released by the sheriff's office. They're keeping things pretty close to the vest. There's been some talk that they were together that morning, but nothing confirmed from sheriff's office. We're waiting for court documents to be filed before we get those kinds of details.
All right, Chris Ornelas in Bakersfield. Thanks so much, Chris. Appreciate it. Now, let's take a closer look, folks. When you take a look at that neighborhood where this Mustang was, in fact, found, you take a look here at the neighborhood. This is exactly what he's talking about. And I'm wondering, why would his car be left by some woman in the neighborhood? That's the part, I think, that really strikes a lot of people, that someone is leaving the car here and then walking away. And if we go back to the map, what I find really interesting here is the fact that the car is found 5 miles from the home, and it's east of the home, yet where the body was found is 20 miles northwest of the home. Why would the person abandon the car all the way over here? I would argue, and Ryan, I would argue that it's because this is walking distance 5 miles from the car back home, whereas if you left the car here, you're not walking 20 miles to get back home, right?
So then is the theory that she dropped his body off 20 miles away and dropped the car off 5 miles from home?
That's the I think that's got to be the working theory here, because this is the abandoned place where the body was in fact found. We take a look at that area right now. You can see this is where the body was found, in the middle of this almond orchard. And then we take a wider shot look at it. You can see where the road is relative to the almond orchard. So here you are at the orchard. You've got that being 20 miles from the house, yet the car's found just 5 miles and in the other direction away from where the house actually is, Ryan.